live button. And it says we're live. So everyone look decent, as we say. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne. It's Niall. And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering the anime that aired the week of the 19th of January through to... That's not right. That's not right at all.
The 24th?
No, the 18th of January to the 24th of January. So I got it wrong last week was the issue. Because I claimed we were covering an extra day and we didn't. Yes, the 18th to the 24th. That's more like it. Chaos already.
It's falling apart so soon.
Anyway, my excuse is I'm on pills, which I won't be tomorrow, so I'm getting them all in today, because I'm going to drive the car tomorrow.
Before they go
yes.
Sensible. Sensible. Yeah.
Talking of cars, we're going to start with Pui Pui Molcar, Episode 3, Cat Rescue Operation.
This I had one of my biggest laughs from this show yet, and you probably know what shot it is.
Is it the
right?
shot of the cat clearly being held up by somebody in a chroma key suit?
That was very funny. But the shot that made me laugh was when the mole car, the hamster, the guinea pig car looks inside itself. That made me laugh really hard. That I wasn't expecting it. It was good.
Natural. You see the cat within you. It's freaking out because it's a hot day. That cat should not be in there because the owner got into the restaurant, the nice air-conditioned restaurant.
The three biggest laughs are looking inside itself, and most of the things with that cat, but especially that shot, and everyone screaming. That was pretty great too.
Yeah, so
funny
it looks
fucking
like
episode.
A cat has got into the car.
I assume the owner left their cat in the car.
That's like what was going on.
That's poor pet ownership and poor hamster car ownership. Yeah,
cat and car ownership. I feel like a cat has got in the car without the owner noticing.
Right.
We're going back to the frames, lads. Probably just when it was behind the car when the lady was getting out, and they just jumped in just before she closed it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sneaky cat.
Yep, the woman stopped off at I assume it's like a milkshake place or something, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Restaurant, cafe, canteen, family restaurant. Looks like.
Which has an inflatable swimming pool on its roof, handily for the plot. So
that's got a car park full of mole cars, sweating it out.
They're frightened when they hear a cat, and they all go and hide. Initially from the cat, but then they're in the shade, and then the mole car starts worrying about the cat because cats die in hot cars. And
initially it goes into the shade, and the other mole cars are kind of like, oh, we better give it room. Yeah, we are also caring living beings. Like, if only there was some way to cool off nearby, like a family restaurant.
It's got a tense medical drama quality. It's like, come on, don't you die on me, cat. We're gonna get through this.
And it's just like a picture of a sleeping cat in a fuzzy, hot, living car. So it's not. There's no real threat, but like the in thing, it feels very threatening.
Nothing else for us. You got to break the first Prime Directive. You got to go inside the restaurant and barge in there and invade it.
It looks like they go to like the slushy machines, and they end up blowing them up to the point where it blows the roof off the restaurant.
They did that thing where like you just get one cup and it hit all the flavors at once to make the rainbow slushy, and it just caused like a chemical reaction.
Blows the restaurant up, but they land in the mascot / logo of the restaurant, which is a pool, as you say, filled with presumably like lemonade, juice, milkshakes, whatever was in that thing, and the cat's in there too, and everyone's fine except for presumably everyone in the restaurant.
The restaurant is insured. It's everything is fine. Everything is completely okay in Molcar world.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah. Damn it! It is like top of the charts every week. I don't know why we bother talking about anything else. This is futile, really.
Yeah, I haven't learnt all their names yet. I know the next week's is Teddy. Is the mole car in next week's episode?
Okay. Because I did notice it was the car from the first episode was in this episode, but he's not the main
Yeah,
car.
there's
with the
one
Katniss.
called Potato, but I'm not sure I know which one that is.
Hmm.
I shall try and investigate at least by episode 5, because episode 5 appears to be a wacky races type situation with.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yeah. The world is starting to find out a little bit more about this. I think the fan art is propagating at an exponential rate.
Yeah, that's because they're adorable. I mean, who wouldn't love them?
Yeah, you can make your own now. I've seen more than one
Yes.
video about how to try and put together your own at home. You know, a great hobby to pick up during an extended pandemic.
Yeah, I wonder what it's doing for sales of felting needles in Japan.
Yeah, like it'd be a weird sort of thing. Like I get everyone's locked indoors and everything, so like microphones and webcams and shit are going out of sale in a bunch of places. But like, wait, felting needles? Why is this going out of stock?
Well, Miguel had actually got in a bunch of supplies for making little Christmas decorations to send home that just gone. So I've been showing her this, obviously. So, you know, somebody could be getting a mole car for the birthday.
Then we've got Suddenly Egyptian Gold, episode 7, Suddenly Katatsu, and Suddenly Medjed. In the first half, it is, who is it? It's Horus, Thoth, Anubis, and Bastet under a Katatsu, and
Because it's winter in Egypt, which is a good gag.
Yep. It's a white Christmas or whatever their holiday is.
they've run out of Satsumas, but none of them want to leave the comfort of the Katatsu to go and get some more. And the second one is just like, what's up with this weird god Medjed?
I like in the first half where there was barely any animation, and they kind of saved it for the second half where they were just going to go a bit wild with that crazy Medjed.
Yes, he's going for a walk around the world with the countries in. There's no way that makes a logical order in which you'd walk.
No.
He's not a logical deity, but he's a very
Yes.
kind one. But when he sees a kitten that's left out in the streets on a rainy day in a cardboard box, he says, "There, don't worry, my sweet, I'll take care of you." And he gives the eyes, and the eyes is all he need. We know
The eyes is all he has. The eyes
and
is
they
all
can
he
annihilate
needs.
her. But he's can get lost in those lovely sparkling pools, and the cat is just like, "Whoa!" Arrow to the heart. Hubba hubba.
I thought it was just going to be like a day in the life, but it is a random day in his life, and the randomness that he gets up to, I guess.
It's being a cool Prince dude. It's like,
Then he gets the washing done, so that's nice.
it's like, you know, it's just like getting down to bed and the cat's cuddled down on the floor, and then it's just like, no, it springs back up and gets snuggled up on top, and it's just like, I guess you want some attention too, my dear. It's like, oh,
It's still good.
who's the prince? Yeah, it's just kind of funny, you know, like the Kotatsu one is just, so it is probably animating the way we're all feeling.
Yeah.
It's
And then we can go to Bungo Stray Dogs 1, episode 2, Let's Go Flower Gazing, and To the Baths, which are almost the same episode, but in 2 different locations, in that the detective agency go to flower gazing and they run into the Port Mafia, and the second half the detective agency go to the baths because their baths are broken, and they run into the Port Mafia because their baths are broken.
I thought they didn't run into the Port Mafia. That was like the weird sort of twist. It's like, no, I guess they went to different baths.
Yeah.
It's fine.
good to you.
Yeah.
It's a big city.
Yeah, there's repeated jokes about treating Chuya like a child because he's tiny.
Initially, I thought it was like, oh, you forgot your bathing hat. And I was like, what? Because I wear a hat all the time. It's like, no, because you're a little baby.
Want to get shampoo in your eyes, don't you?
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Well, it did strike me as I was looking for screenshots to make the art for this episode, because obviously it's got a "Let's" in the title of one of the stories, so therefore that's what we're going to name the episode after. It's kind of hard. And I was like, okay, I guess it's fine in the moment, but really looking at like how scenes are laid out, it's pretty artless.
It
is very basic.
That was it. Yeah, it felt really flat to me. So I just consider, because there's some necessary shorts, and also as well consider, like, while it's in 3 segments, is you're going to watch in probably like, because it's 11 minutes. It's just like so much more is competent like more in 6 minutes, and then 2 and a bit minutes in certain one other case. And it's like even though it's only a short, they probably spare those 11 minutes somewhere else and just watch Molcar twice.
Yeah, I am like. I think it might be just this particular episode. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. But like I went back and watched the first one, and I felt like they had some more interesting compositions. Not that they needed to in such a short, but like way more than this episode. Yeah.
At the same time, it still looks much better than most of these things currently.
Yeah. And then the actors are still having a fucking laugh. The characters are still being played up to their type and everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it is fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's just unfortunate it's not as high quality as some of the other shorts we're watching. It is the least
of the 4 sets of shorts that we're watching.
Yeah.
Then we've got Dr. Stone, Stonewalls, Episode 2, Hotline, which I think may contain some of the best animation I can remember seeing from Dr. Stone in the first half.
Yeah. It's and seeing it off the back of Taiso Samurai as well. That's how you do some gymnastics.
I was like, okay, yeah. I remember Airmaster, and this was the feeling I used to get from Airmaster of gymnastics-based combat. As Kohaku tries to track down, what's the pink gymnast's name? I can't remember it.
Homura.
Yeah, they keep saying her name, and I forgot.
Homer.
Yeah.
For the first half, but it turns out that she can't catch up with her, and also she can't outrun Kohaku. She's trying to get Kohaku to run out of breath by getting Kohaku to talk to her a lot, but she's like, crap, she's got fantastic stamina and cardio. She's not going to wear out. So they try to like herd her towards the town, and then Senku brings her down by using a flare.
It's cool visor as well, which this going up the end is going to be this I don't recall him wearing that, but I suppose they're just going to pop onto other inventions when they go and into battle, so to speak. So he's probably going to be wearing the cool visor for the duration of it.
I quite like these end credits. I particularly like the metaphor of as he's picking up more scientific advances in the character design in the end credits, he's getting faster.
Yeah.
Accelerating back to the 20th century level very quickly.
Yeah, it's getting more detailed as well. Because like the backgrounds of Kata's deal kind of shapes, and then you see him, he's doing his little kind of walking there. It just turns to him. It's kind of like almost like the uncolored like animation drawing of him running. Then it's cool. Looks really neat.
I think it's that CG model they've been using in one of the other outros, I believe. But yeah, it still looks pretty good.
Anyways, flare, kabam. This is something you can maybe make it home case, but don't do it. Obey the warning at the end of the episode.
And she tries to like, please don't touch me there. And he's like, that's not going to work on me because I'm a terrible person.
When we reconstruct society, then I will be demure. But until then, I'm going to be a weird creep. And she's like, damn, I've been caught. Wait a minute. This guy's like a 10-pound weakling. And just like fucking throws him off immediately, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. But that was all. Senku got a backup plan. He'd put some of the glowing mineral on her, and they follow her using a UV light. But then, as morning comes, she notices and washes it all off. But that's fine because we can communicate.
At this stage, she's chasing the
Yes.
lads because she's identified everyone in the village that everyone of importance in her opinion. And I see 3 lads who aren't here. Now, if it was just Chrome and your man, they'd probably be hunting for minerals because I know they've done that before. But why would they bring the fucking face, the talky guy, with them? Oh, fuck, he's leading them back to the thing. I don't know why, but gotta catch up to him.
So like, I think, oh, we're screwed. Like, she's way too fast. She's got too much of a head start. She's gonna catch up to the dudes. Yes, but they got a fucking phone, and we got a phone, so we can just fucking coordinate our movements. And now this chase is turned into a pincer movement, and we're going to go and catch her.
We can't actually phone because she'll figure out that it is a phone. So we'll just send Morse code messages to us, which she describes as text messages. And Kinro and Kahaku are like, we don't understand what you're saying.
What? Text massage? No.
Your analogies do not work on our Stone Age brains. And yeah, they end up catching her by going up a tree and setting up a false antennae. So when she goes and investigates, they can chop the tree down, and Kohaku can catch her rather than kill her, because it was a bit earlier where she was like, "Do you mind if I chop her head off if I have to?"
And he's kind of like, well, we want to do this blood, but you've never killed a person before. It's like, yeah, but if I'm given like a direct fucking order, then I can steel myself to do it. And he's like, no, we're going to do this better. We're going to be better than killing our enemies, kind of thing.
And that's the thing with that's echoed with Chrome and Magma and Gen when they find a whole bunch of guys numbered, ready to be turned into soldiers for Tsukasa. Magma's like,
and yeah, Chrome's like, Magma's like, yeah, we could smash them, but it'll be just easier if we break off their arms and legs, then they're useless. And Gen's like, yeah, that's a really good idea. I can't let you do that though.
The really one killer thing is just fun stuff. Is just fun. Then okay, if you gotta do it, go ahead. His hammer's coming down on him, and he gets this flash in his mind, fixed to the face of the statue, fixed to the vision of this dude having breakfast with his family like 2,000 years ago, and said, just stops the blow. Oh, my hand.
And he sees it as a weakness.
Second thoughts.
Yeah, he sees it as a weakness, but Chrome's like, no, it's not a weakness. It takes more strength to do the right thing than to do the simple solution.
The easy thing. Yeah. And I did like their description. It's like, we kind of forgot that Magma's like super bloodthirsty. It's like, he's our mate now. This is weird.
Yeah. That's what's like nice about Chrome is that he's on a similar kind of thing to Senku as well, as isn't as as advantageous because he doesn't know as much. But he's a bit like that heart that Senku kind of hides or keeps to himself most of the time, but he is Chrome's more open-minded about what science can do, and the humanist kind of aspect of it. But Senku has as well, because he's a bit more, he's not going to be sentimental about that.
Except he does later in the episode. There's lots of parallels between the two groups. It's great.
Because I was like, I've struck like how good the writing was. I think more here than when I was reading it in the comic. I don't know whether they've just brought it out more in the direction.
Yeah, the pacing is going to help a lot.
Yeah.
And so they're going to bury the one end of the cell phone in Senku's grave. Because, of course, no one will be suspicious, except, of course, somebody is. Our fella who's super good at hearing.
And shooting arrows.
Shooting arrows, yes. As we'll eventually learn, the most boring character in the story, but possibly for a reason.
I like the guy, but he hasn't done too much.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be like that, though. I feel like,
You got to have some normies in the group of weirdos, I guess,
Yeah, and then, he manages to... Senku gets hold of his friends for the first time in God knows how many episodes.
Like, it's in universe or whatever, it's been like at least a year since he talked to them or something, right? Which even he's like, man, it makes me feel almost like crying. I was like, you're so close to tears there, bud.
It's just nice when I said, hey, How you doing, you big dumb dummy? I told you I'd be back. Because you're a big dumb dummy. You're going to start crying about this anyway. Because you're a big dumb dummy, but you're a friend anyway. It's just... And then fucking Tide's under the line. It's just like... You can see the kind of face contorting up, like from here down. It's really nice. And there's a second, buddy!
Yeah.
Uh,
Good stuff.
It was nice.
And this show just looking fucking excellent. I imagine it's going to drop it a little because, goddamn, can you make it look this good all the time? Impossible, right?
It'll be quiet now for a little bit after this.
As I say, I don't know how long they've been working. Whether they just went straight into working on this when the last season finished. In which case, it probably may well look great all the way through.
That's true.
That was a phenomenon that was kind of pointed out, is that there was just the disproportionately large amount of fairly decent things out in this given season. It's usually like, the winter one is like the lesser one is like not going to put out like many big things here. We wait till the spring because it's after the fiscal year. Lots of shit like that. But because things got sort of put in the long finger, and then maybe actually had more time to finish, I think some of them finished months ahead of when they're meant to be going on air or meant to be rescheduled to go on air. So you could. Yeah, see, a lot of things we're watching might be able to keep a fairly stable level. No, Dragon Quest levels of stability all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you should take your time with animation and make it really good and pay your animators well. It's a mad idea.
I feel like I should probably go back and keep a note of whose stuff just ran through spring and make a note of like those are people to follow in future or studios to follow in future because we know at least they schedule everything so that as it's airing they're not having to bust a gut to finish later episodes.
Yeah.
That was Dr. Stone. It was great. Like I said, it's drawing stuff out from the comic that either I'd forgotten or it's just presenting it better, I guess, partly because there's now a whole load more of the comic, so it's probably got a better idea of like the tone of the series overall.
Yeah. That's helpful.
And then we got Heaven's Design Team, Episode 3, Idea 3. I didn't make as copious notes. So it was the dragon to begin with. I just look at Dwayne's screen and I can see what it was.
Hey, that's not a dragon. That's some kind of cockatrice, I think. Check there. Yeah.
Yeah, what was the fucking brief for that again?
I want something that flies but doesn't fly.
Doesn't have wings.
It's one of those shitty fucking designer notes that you're getting from the client. It's like, the fuck does that mean? Like a balloon? What do you want?
Fly without wings. It was his God's remit.
That was it.
It's not as great as the one later on.
No. It's like I did enjoy it though, because also them bringing up his old design where he's really embarrassed about it. It was like we were looking for a thing that flies without wings. We said we go with your dragon, and he's like, that was one of my rejected ideas. Don't fucking bring that up again. I'm really embarrassed about it. I was young and foolish. I just thought it looked cool.
Yeah. Well, as a talking size, you get the kind of juices flowing here. Let's see if we can make this kind of viable. What can we add on to this?
We could fill it full of helium. It's like, that's going to be difficult to do. How about hydrogen? That's incredibly explosive, and also, but we could use the gut bacteria to produce that, because that's what it produces. So it's filled with farts. It's like, a dragon filled with farts. But to eat the amount of food to make that, he'd have to be really heavy, so it'd be like a weird balance. And if he just floated, wouldn't he just and it's like a cow just floating in the wind is their idea. And it's like, this doesn't quite work. So what if we only have a bit of it fly and a bit of it not fly? And that's where they end up with the brilliant idea of the dragon coming out of a chicken's butt.
Yeah. Again, because it's going out the same hole. This makes it more efficient.
Yeah. It breaks off like a lizard's tail. It's basically like the end of its urethra and its colon, I think. They've combined it for efficiency, and they do not see or are fucking riding your man and obviously our angel guy sees it. Whereas it's like, so the dragon here is like, yeah, that's right, that's the asshole. And it's like, you don't see how he'd be insulted by this.
They want it to breathe flames, don't they? Because it's got flammable urine which will catch fire.
It's really cool. It's like, but it's a dragon's head coming out the chicken's arse. So you got the majestic dragon just as a chicken's butt.
And then it explodes.
Less majestic.
Something flies past and the entire thing explodes. Because
Static,
Static.
yeah?
I can't remember their names yet. The guy in glasses, the Steve Jobs guy who designed the dragon, has designed another snake. It's a flying snake.
This is the latest snake,
Yeah.
model 2.8. Yeah.
People were very terrified to find these existed. I think they've been around for a while, obviously.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing footage of them in like the David Attenborough documentaries and shit. Yeah.
The biggest ball was that it's just like, what the fuck? I thought it was like safe in my high-rise apartment, away from the snakes and crawl on the ground. But no, they figured out a way to get to me in here. I'm fine with snakes.
The snake is endlessly adaptable.
Yeah, and this is really cool because it's like, oh yeah, this is how it works. It just kind of it flattens his body out and it curls up and it flies like the wing of an airplane. It's really fucking cool.
But also, it still like slithers through the air, which is great. Like it's a cool animal, and I like when they describe like cool animals anyway. So
yeah,
but yeah, I was enjoying them just completely like destroying his design by pointing out like all the ways it wouldn't fucking work. And I did like the thing of them going like, it's like, oh, you could see that as a young designer he was influenced by your man's work. Look at the dragon's head, looks like a fucking horse. That was good. That was a bit of a like, ooh, low.
God also approves the starfish design that they'd been using to summon the dragon.
They had to set the scene, like read a cool demonic poetry, and I was just doodling this animal on the thing, and the starfish does get the design of, and it's as soon as it's like, why is he designing a starfish? It's like, oh, it's brilliant. You can chop off his limbs. Which one is the arms and legs? They're all arms and legs. The mouth is also the anus, and it can expand its stomach so it can eat things bigger than its mouth. I wish I could do that. And I was like, now it makes sense.
Yes,
Now
his
I
thing
see why
definitely
you
seems to
designed
be
this.
like very utilitarian sea creatures.
Very utilitarian sea creatures that can eat shit because he's obsessed with eating the animals. So yeah, makes sense.
And then we go back to Tsuchiya, the horse madman, and they're trying. He's being approached by the engineer because some reason on the blueprints the female seahorse is labelled the father and the male seahorse is labelled the mother. And he's like, oh, I know what's happened here. My grandson's doodled on it, but we're going to keep it exactly as he's done it.
Because he's a doting grandfather,
Yes.
and he doesn't want to interfere with his kids or his grandson's creativity.
And also the grandson's here. And then we get into, like, they're trying to figure out how it works, and the Gothic Lolita comes up with an animal that is truly horrifying and I was not aware of.
What, the
football fish, who's the
that thing's fucking class, man. Where the males become like the descended testes of the female.
Yes, they just melt away until there's only their
shit.
testicles left.
Yep.
Oh, but they're so in love and all. The devoted male fuses
it's a
with
pure
the very
form of
flesh of the female.
It's a pure form of love where he bites onto the female and becomes part of her nervous system. His brain melts, and it's just like, I was like, God, it is disgusting.
so
but it's like,
immense.
yeah, that's nature, man. It's crazy.
So they ask the kid what he likes. He likes horses, and who made him Granddad made him 5 horses, and they combine. And then they're like, that sounds great. Let's make a combining animal. It'll be the biggest animal in the world, and it'll be a jellyfish.
Well, that was part of your man's thing of just like, again, the Steve Jobs very basic design kind of thing. But he was not getting on with this kid, so to keep it entertained is just like, I gotta fucking appeal to this kid by making a combining animal.
Right. He seems the kind of dude who will probably be into combining robots anyway, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It was after he'd
yeah.
fed him coffee, that was it, wasn't it? That's why he was trying.
Because it's like, hello, how do you do? Here's my business card. I do not know how to interact with children. Like, you want some coffee? And you get him black coffee. It's just like, God damn it, dude. What's wrong with
And
you?
then they'd make another combining animal using various designs from the previous episodes. And they just end up creating an evil god.
Sort of Cthulhu elder god bollocks. And
Yeah.
it's not even like a rejected idea that they've hanged onto like the dragon. It's like it's instantly deleted by the angels. It's like, I arrived because I thought some shit might be going down. That is fucking just cancelled. No, you cannot do that. That will ruin everything.
You gotta get rid of this. So we gotta burn the engineering room down. No, you're not burning that down. My stuff is in there. You're gonna figure out how to fix this. You gotta figure out what it was and
No,
undo
they
it.
need to burn the room down because God did approve of the design, but he didn't approve the deleted
No.
eldritch monstrosity. He approved something the grandson doodled while he was just hanging around, and they had a look in the room. It's nasty. We don't want to go in there.
And God's like, well, I've approved it now. It's up to you guys to make it work.
Make it work. Make it work, guys. So then they're trying to like rejigger a currently existing animal to like get in the room to get the drawing so they can figure out what the fuck this thing is. It's like, okay, what about a gorilla? It's like, okay, good start. All right, make it make it
Gorilla.
5 times as tall. Oh shit! It died of heat stroke because it's basically its internal body temperature is also 5 times larger. And like, okay, what if we give it a frill? No, still no good.
Okay,
make it a quadruped, and it's just there panting. And don't they take most of the fur off, so it's wearing like furry underpants?
Yes.
Eventually becomes an elephant.
I mean, I get not before it becomes a baddie from
Yes.
Fist of the North Star, which is great. But yeah, eventually elephant, which is like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't see them going that way, which was a nice reveal. But yeah, fun.
They get the note and they're like, oh, it doesn't say 30 meters, it says 3 centimeters. And the kids are like, oh no, they gag him so God won't think it's 30 meters long.
Also, they minimize the design, and the kids like, actually, my drawing is upside down there. It's actually the tentacles that are on the bottom and the spikes that are on the top.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a weird looking sea creature
That,
thingy.
thankfully no longer exists in our world. We just know of it from a fossil.
No, it's pretty interesting.
But yes, I was like, yep, that's quite the thing, and I guess that's why they called it hallucigenia. Because it's a real fucking weird creature that doesn't look like it belongs on our planet.
I think the reason I remembered the look of it was I remember when I was a kid there was like a little make and do hobby book of things, and I think you could make one of those out of pipe cleaners, that kind of fucking thing. And I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense that you'd make it out of pipe cleaners.
This is where we discover that it wasn't discovered until no, you're fine, okay. 1977. You were just
Yeah, no, I'm reasonably certain. Either that or I was reading kids' books too old, which is probably also true.
It's now recognised as a lobopodium worm. Okay. There's all sorts of varieties of them.
Great.
Lovely.
I think that was pretty much it, wasn't it? Yeah. And then what was the preview for next week?
There was multicolored
That was
dolphins. They were all wearing stripy suits,
Yes.
I think. Like prisoner uniforms in the savannah, so I'm guessing they're making a zebra. Another horse
Yes.
variation. And I've forgotten what the other shots
Yeah.
were, but yeah.
I think it was the gist of it.
Weird shit happened.
As per normal,
what every
yes.
episode
And
is.
then you discover that
Yeah.
the weirdest things are the ones which actually exist in the world.
Yep.
Because when you think about it, a dragon is less weird than a fish which has multiple male fish attach it to themselves and then dissolve into just testicles. A dragon's an easier concept to deal with.
Again, platypus. What's happened with that?
You're going to be so excited when that episode hits.
Either that or it'll be the most mundane thing after all the other shit we've seen.
Right, next up is Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 15, Kyoto Sister School Exchange Event, Group Battle 1. Tell me all about it, guys.
Throwing down. They've let out the traps. The guy that's going to find each other in this forest, and they've already come into battle plan. They're going to be watching out for Toto. Itadori, that's your job. Because
We were trying to figure out which one of us would do it, and they apologized to your man saying, I know you wanted at him, and it's like, no, I'm cool. I don't need to come at that guy.
yeah,
One of us needed to distract that guy because he's a big red flag, and you don't need to beat him. You just need to like hold him off for a little bit while we do our thing.
But he was like, well, I'll do that. But if I'm going to do it, senpai, I'm going to fucking win.
We're all like, cool, whatever. That's fine.
He went straight into it, because they're kind of just like dashing down like and doing all that, and they just fucking kapak, smack straight through like an old little weedy curse that was meant to be scoring for points. And he's just like, "Come on, I'll take you all on. I'll come out one at a time." It's like, "You do, it's your job. You take care of it."
Yeah,
And
they
then
split off, leave him to it. And
there was a beautiful moment.
I was waiting for that moment because I love it, and it didn't disappoint. It was fantastic.
It was fucking brilliant. It was like, no, Toto was giving him a fair old whack straight through. Almost irritating to move, would have broken his arm. He's taking him out already. He's just like turn his back to walk away. And then he's getting back up, fun going again. It's like, Toto was like, "Oh, it's impressive. Tell me, what kind of woman do you like?
What's your type?" It's like, "Why the fuck are you asking me?" It's like, "I'm just trying to fucking judge you." It's like, God, if I had to think about it, tall woman with a big butt like Jennifer Lawrence, and then the flashback to a thing that did not happen to him. It feels like it did happen, and they have been best friends forever now.
That's how Toto feels like. Such a kinship with this man. It's like they've known each other forever since they were best buds. They've been through everything. They've laughed, we've cried, we've supported each other in our lowest moments and our highest highs. So, and now we must fight.
So the fight's really funny, and it's just like, oh, the way he fights is great. He's stronger than me, which is why he's lasting so long. But his fucking move with the delayed thing is bullshit. He's like, dude, to beat me, you can't be using that shit. And he keeps like shouting, I say, "My best friend," and he keeps shouting at him in English. It's very, very funny. But yeah, he does get it. It is sort of taken out of his reverie, hanging out with his best mate, when all the rest of his school shows up to murder that guy.
Yeah. They've all coordinated the plan. It's like, "No, get the fuck back. This is my bro. I'm gonna fight him. I'll fight all you fuckers if I have to." But the Tokyo school are moving in any case. Fucking Momo, the girl in the group, is up the sky doing the recon. She gets taken out by one of the fucking Shikigamis that Fushiguro has Nue. I love that one. It's like a big kind of like Shadow of the Colossus with lightning powers. It's really neat.
Yeah, they've realized that obviously that hey, they all didn't separate to us. We're not meeting any of them in the woods, and they all just double back to where we left our boy. So they're probably trying to take him out. They have basically figured out the plan because it's fairly obvious. So they've doubled back to help him out a little.
Oh, it was fucking like really good. It's like to get Mai and Miwa kind of one running into the forest, and then like the fucking predator, fucking Maggie one comes out, fun whoosh, and starts. She's got the big halberd. She's gonna fun take on Miwa.
It is nice that they get a little bit of conversation where it's just like, "Hey, what's your thing?" It's like, I think what they're doing is kind of fucked up. It's kind of messed up, but I'm hoping to get like a promotion because I need the money. I got two little brothers to support. It's just like she's a very nice, basic, simple character among all these weirdos.
Yeah, it's nice. The rest of them have sussed what's going on. Panda and Curse Speech Dude and I've fucking forgotten her name now as well. Kugisaki, yeah.
Yes.
And they've just split off down as well. And the fucking again, Momo and the broomstick goes up on a tree trying to do some recon as well. And then it's just like fun. Whoa, what the fuck is that? And then Panda and Kugisaki was like, "Hey, come out and play." Really fucking intimidating.
It's pretty fun. You get a lot of good character beats and stuff. Where does it? I can't remember where exactly it ends though.
It's just kind of splitting off into individual little like showdowns here.
Okay.
So you're facing down, and in total, it's probably going to be this going to kind of try and train Yuji how to use his technique properly through fighting him. So the probably just bounce around with them. I think Fushiguro is going to be going up against Kamo, or is it that happen later on? No, I fucking Mechamaru is out there as well. The robot dude, which is his curse technique is laser blast out the hand. Very inventive. Yeah. It's like this guy's bitten off, and we're seeing again more of that sweet fight choreography. They're really having lots of fun with the Itadori and Todo scrapping, so we get more of that again.
And they use like the woods to their advantage as well, of slapping people into trees and like swinging off of trees. There's some good stuff here, yeah.
Or gymnastics, gym kata fighting going on, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of they're all finding their dance partners, so it'll just be having fun with that. No, feel like it's more like back on a good head of steam again. You know, it's got things are kind of going along at a nice pace, and it's
true.
enough.
Yeah, I like the Jujutsu Stroll as well, where they just ask random other characters, "Hey, what's your type?" And the sequence where what's the blue-haired girl's name again?
Miwa.
Miwa. She's like, I don't know, like a nice guy, but he has to be like cool and hot. You know, he has to be a hot dude. But, you know, someone who's really there for you. But when they do ask our blindfolded boy, he's like, "Oh, what's my type? What's the nice girl with the weird bangs and the other earhead or whatever?" She's kind of going through. It's like, okay, nice girl with the weird bangs. Then we go through all the girls with weird bangs, and it's like, this one, no, she's not nice. This one, no, she's not nice. It's like, and she names her. And, that's the one. Yeah, that's my type.
She's pretty nice. Yeah, she's nice.
She's in with a shot.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It's a funny bit, like I like all those Jujutsu Stroll things because there's weird characters and it's fun to have them just interact without beating the shit out of each other sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, and there'll be more in that because again, this is like while they are trying to kill Yuji, there's less of like fucking stakes in it behind that. So you can see like what Panda can do, because remember, Panda is not actually a panda. You'll find out why very soon.
Excellent.
Then we've got With a Dog and a Cat. Every Day is Fun, episode 15. Except, of course, when you get too invested in your animal's birthday and buy a toy that it's not interested in, then less fun.
Yeah, that projection can really get you down.
I did like the way the dog enjoyed the birthday song more than the present.
But then it depends what toy, because sometimes it does work, and then you get that the dog, the weird squidgy one with the bumps in it, and it loves that one. It goes nuts about it. I got for the cat like a little thing with bat around the balls, and they just spin around the circle, and it's just like it's trying to act like it doesn't like it, but anytime it walks by, it gives it a little knock around. So I think the cat likes the toy.
But the cat's birthday present was some special, expensive food,
high-end cat treats,
which unfortunately the dog was even more enthusiastic about than the cat. So she had to hold the dog back constantly while the cat ate the food.
And then the cat's opinion on his birthday.
Such a
too noisy. Still consistently fucking great. Yeah.
Get you in, get you out.
Yeah, this is one where I'm not going to touch the comic till this series is over, I think, because I feel like I'll just fly straight through all these strips so quickly.
Yeah.
It'd be a good bathroom book, to be sure.
Yeah.
It may also be a good present to get people who've got cats or dogs, or ideally people who've got both. They'll probably enjoy it more than the dog enjoyed his rubber bone. Then we've got Back Arrow, episode 3. Does a huge ship bring hope?
Yes. No.
You
tell me.
No, yes. Then yes.
Yeah, that is correct. So this huge ship, which definitely isn't going to turn into a giant robot at some point in this story.
Oh, those definitely aren't feet on the back.
There's definitely not hands on the back of it.
Or fucking. Yeah, but the thing that looked like two fucking shoes, basically. I was just like.
Same thought I had right at the end when it's taking off. It's like they're just clearly shoes. And then
the design is what it is. We can fucking
It's a
change
good design, though, because I really love that it's piloted by a giant robot standing on the prow of the ship and becoming. As the figurehead. Yeah. I was like,
that's a good design, and it is directly related to. It's like, hey, what do you want? It's like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. Cool, you're the figurehead of a ship now. That's your fucking thing.
This is a good episode again because the writing addressed the things I was worried about as well. It's like, the heroines aren't going to have to be saved every episode, because
Oh, I was, because they do the exactly the same animation to her, and I was like, oh, are you really gonna fucking punk her like that? And it's like, no, she
Yes.
has it figured out this time. And I was like, ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
essentially all our
that was
hero
good.
does in this episode is give our heroines encouragement to solve their own problems.
He gives them encouragement, and your one says, okay, I need you to go in and take the kill shot here because I actually don't literally want to
Yes.
kill him, and I know you can beat him up without
Yeah.
killing him. So you go in and finish him, but I've fucking
Yes, if
done
I
the
do
work.
another shot, I'm going to kill him.
And I was just like, that's cool.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's perfect. That takes care of
Yeah.
everything I'd worried about these characters. They're now at a bit higher level than they were at the start of the series, and you've got that relationship where he has to come in and end the fights because they don't want to kill people. And
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
Bit is a dipshit, and he causes all the drama in this episode.
Yeah, to be fair, they're all kind of like, yeah. So Bit has been talking to, oh, he calls him like the general or something like that. He gives him his title. He's been talking to the prisoner. It's like, Bit, what are you saying to the prisoner? He's like, oh, the general's been telling me something very interesting. So through Bit, he manages to convince the villagers, like, if you just turn this guy in, we'll leave you the fuck alone. We'll actually give you a reward for this whole fucking thing. So the villager kind of like, yeah, we do need a new village now that our one exploded with a giant ship underneath it. So that would be great. So they're saying like, sorry, dude, we gotta turn you in.
And he lets them. He's not going to fight them against it.
It's like, yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, I don't want to cause you any trouble. A bit shouting is like, you exploded our village, which, yeah, it's kind of all his fault. So fair enough.
But it turns out the government, because it's the repeated thing though. You'll be a great patriot, Bit. That you're doing the thing.
Yeah.
You're saving the country from being attacked by the two bigger countries.
You're saving your
Yes.
village. You're saving your country. It's like, oh,
It's the
you're the
repeated
man,
thing
Bit.
of like, oh, you'll be a patriot. You'll be a great patriot. And then they show the video of where they're going to be going. It's basically Heidi.
Green hills,
Yeah.
sheeps. One of the things is like you have clean waters, rolling hills, clear sky, and I was like, well, you can't really say you get this much sky. What? I don't know. It was very highfalutin in terms of like the video.
And he's going to stay behind and be a hero, and he's going to bid farewell to the village by, why don't you just give a big old cannon salute as they go off.
And he's like, okay, pulls the fucking thing on the cannon. It shoots, like, because they're flying through a valley to get to this promised land. And then the rocks start collapsing on them because it was aimed at the valley that they were flying through. And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, all right, rest of the men start firing on them, bury them in fucking rocks.
Because basically we want to pretend this village never existed, pretend that Dreadnought never existed, because...
It's like, if we keep it, both the countries will be mad at us. If we give it to one country, the other country will be mad at us. If we, it's like, it's bad no matter what the fuck we do, so let's just bury it and just get rid of it.
I like the fact they give, like, they are assholes, but they're assholes who are doing it for an understandable asshole-ish reason.
They're killing an entire village to keep the rest of them alive.
It's coming down to the conviction thing as well, which is done at the start of the episode as well with the Emperor,
Yes.
they're distributing all the bind warpers to the soldiers, and they all.
I was like, great. Now we're doing better in the arms race of mind warpers. I guess they're literally arms races because you put them on your arm, but whatever.
And Kai's disappointed
but,
that they've all got exactly the same, and the Emperor's like, well, yeah, that's because their convictions, their loyalty to me. But
they're in front of me, so I'm like exerting my like force over them, so therefore their first conviction is like loyalty.
And the fact that your
the Emperor.
conviction's different, so that's because that's the value of a great general, is to think for himself to a degree. Of course, what he doesn't know is that him and Shu apparently have a secret pact that they're going to turn this country upside down and make it better. But also, Ren has just told Kai everything that Shu's been up to, apart from the bit about sneaking into the forbidden texts, which Shu gleefully tells Kai.
Yeah, he's not keeping that quiet from his mouth at all. But yeah, the Emperor's kind of like, because he has been told most everything, he's kind of like, hey, what happened to that other pod? And Yumen's like, what? yeah, your boy went to look for it, and he's like, I'll fucking get that report to you right away, Emperor. And he's like, yeah, see, you fucking do.
Yeah, he's all like, oh, when are you, Red and Shu, when are you going to get together?
When are you gonna make an honest woman out of her, kind of thing? And she's like, it's not like that, bro. And it's like, it's like that. I know.
Also, I hadn't realized how much taller he is than the other two.
Like twice as tall. He's ridiculously big.
We learn that they are from a village near the North Wall, and so they've come up from nothing to be where they are in the capital.
And there's plenty of other generals who would
the
like
Prime
to
Minister is
put
plotting
Shu on the
Shu,
chopping block.
and so but we get to Shu back at the end of the episode where his terrible poker face. But yeah, meanwhile, yes. So once they start collapsing the rocks on the dreadnought, then Bit realizes the terrible mistake he's made, steals the back arrows bind warper off the president,
and tosses it into his cage. I need you to help us out like this one time, and because back arrow the whole episode has been like, okay, I won't do nothing. Then I'm gonna stay out of it. Fair enough. Put me in prison. I don't mind. But this is like, okay, if you need my help, then I will absolutely help.
I'll just rip these ropes off me that I've had on through most of the episode.
I could have done it at any time, but I feel like doing it now.
I like the fact also that he's in a tiny cage which gets wheeled around through the episode. And then we get to the stuff where he goes to the ship and he's like, well, I can't do anything, but I can ask you what you want. And she says, I want to get out of here.
And it's the other thing of like he was talking to her earlier, like what, like not without like trying to push her or anything, but what was it like? What was the view like from the front of that ship? Like, what did you feel with it? And she kind of couldn't answer him at that stage because it's kind of like it did feel good, but I don't want to admit that because I want to be like more so about her village than her own conviction.
And so that powers up. It creates like a force field, and then your fella rushes back. It gets in a new set of armor, and then we get the fight. Where her thing is she uses her conviction to basically roll the blasts along her arm and then back up the whip.
The bullets are hitting her and bouncing off of her, and then she's like trick shotting them back along the wire that isn't binding him because of his conviction, but it is shooting him with his own fucking bullets. Which I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And then calls in back arrow to finish him off because she didn't want to kill him. He's just an asshole.
And then they basically agree that they're like, because they feel like, the country's banding us, but they like put it like, no, this time round we're abandoning the country. So Ikki's on their own now. They don't have protection of this now giant ship that our heroes have got. We also learned that the guy who looks like a doctor is a recent arrival at the village.
Yeah.
The one guy whose character design is slightly different to everybody else's in the village.
Because they're commenting on the fact that your one was in the warp binding thing and was moving a dreadnought, and she's like, yeah, she's not even tired after it. And it's like, I guess the mayor's kind of like, we're pretty hardy out in the sticks. I mean, like you're new here, so you probably wouldn't get it. And I was just like, that's kind of subtly done, but it's like, what's
what is his deal? Because I'm like, is he from I feel like some character's going to be revealed that they've been from the outside the wall all along, and he'd be my number one suspicion.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking, the Emperor probably knows it, and to keep people contained and supplicants.
Yes, because his final orders to Shu are like, I want you to kill that man and destroy the dreadnought. And he's like, of course. And then this grin and this like heavy breath comes over him. He's like, come on, you're doing that right in front of the Emperor, mate.
Well, the Emperor has very long eyebrows.
Yeah, and he's quite high up.
It's fine.
But
I did like even like Becker going like, with this fucking dreadnought we can get to the wall in no time, and I imagine they fucking will the way this show's
I should try and make room for that now.
Yeah,
I think by the sound of it, it's picking up.
Yeah, and CG robots continue to be perhaps the best animation in the show.
They're excellent fucking CG robots. I did enjoy when he picked up Bit and like lobbed him into his shoulder pad. It's just like a little fucking window you can just sit in there. I was just like, the designs are good. They move fucking great. The action sequences so far have been rather interesting with them. Up with the rebounding shots and everything. Yeah.
Neat. Well, I've just about finished watching Overman King Gainer, so I got room for a City Robot program in the near future. Maybe I should put this on.
And then we got Skate the Infinity, Episode 3, Undesired Hero, in which our heroes have to teach this little punk who dresses like a cat a thing or two.
Even if the bet says, I will treat you like a dog, you can treat me like a dog. What?
He says a
But
dog or a cat. I
or a
don't mind.
cat,
It's
I
like he
suppose,
clearly has a
just to be-
preference.
Yeah, Mia. But as we slowly learn, it's like they comment that he doesn't actually seem to be. While he's very good at skateboarding, he doesn't appear to be enjoying it.
No.
Uh,
Because of
His tragic backstory.
and of course they would get fucking Takahito Koyasu to be the skateboarding vampire. He's coming by. He's getting shown like this skating gym or something like that. I think it's attached to a school actually.
Yeah, I imagine it's some kind of sports stadium, probably repurposed depending on the event or something. Yeah.
He's coming by surveying it. Adam is his name. To try the local town. Seeing Mia, the hope of the Japanese national team, but there's like two other kids in his class are on his team, and they're trying to screw him up. They just kind of kick the boards in towards him while he's in the middle of a trick, but he is like jumps on, lands on one of the boards that is sent in. It looks even more impressive, made him look even cooler. It's just like, nah, that's what you get. Trying to gang up on me. I'm a loner. I don't need nobody.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he speaks in video game terms. He doesn't
all
party
Dragon
up
Quest.
with slimes.
yes, yes. A hero doesn't party with slimes. Of course, we know different from watching Die.
Yes.
And the hero's best
Okay, the metaphors mixed
best
up here
friend
again.
is his slime. They get into this. But the other part of the story is like, how can we customize the skateboard so that you can use it more like a snowboard?
I thought it was like initially I thought he was just going to put those roller wheels on every wheel, and I was like, that would be insane. But just handles like a fucking shopping trolley. But I did like the idea of him going like he has trouble turning because like you're no matter which direction you're going on a snowboard, it's always at the same speed. You're always going on snow, but on skateboards generally just go one direction very fast and turn much slower.
Yeah.
So it's a fair solution to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but however, when we're like practicing in the high-rise car park at night, and then the security comes by me, I'm running. I leave you for dust because I say I meet you back at the shop, but it's okay, it'll be fine. And I stumble across. I just scared an office chair. I can rob the wheels off of that and make me a crazy skateboard.
Mm-hmm. They've changed the straps as well to like a clip.
Yes.
Yeah,
for one of his feet.
It made like too tight of a turn because they're like doing like a tour of the course ahead of the actual showdown on Sunday night, and Mia talking shit, doing some tricks, trying to show him up, and Lanka chases him down, but it takes too tight of a turn, man. And the board can't handle it, snaps right, and the strap snaps off right. And
yeah, so he's like modifying the board the whole time, and he keeps coming up with new, more complicated names for it. But it's interesting. He's kind of getting closer to like skating on a regular board, but one that's kind of customized to the way you skate is the other thing he's going for.
Mm. It's interesting as well. Like, and it's I suppose it's kind of the mirror they're trying to go for as well. Is that Mia is super confident on the skateboard, can do the kind of crazy ass tricks, like gliding down like the edge of it. You can take a tighter corner. We have no fun. There's no soul, no spirit in it. And then Langa is like, he's regularly kind of fucking terrified of some of the things he's been asked to do on a board. Like, I can't do that. It's impossible. But he's kind of having fun with it as well.
Yeah, it's exciting him, so it's that's pushing him forward.
The danger is what keeps him coming back, especially when it's all done in a kind of a Fast and Furious street racing style setting. Yeah. And once again, Ricky is late bringing a fucking skateboard, and it almost that's sub out, but it's all right. And it's trying to.
I like the because obviously the key is that Mia doesn't have friends, but I like that during the race he becomes concerned about Langer at one point and tries to help him.
I love that. I was just thinking, it didn't occur to me in the prior ones for some reason, but when they get into that warehouse, it goes to all the neon lights, and it's like the final lap,
Yes.
and all the fucking lights are flashing, and it's
So
more
that's the after
exciting.
party is, man. You get to go come in here. You're going to be the star of the
But
show.
it changes the mood of the scene because it's like this is the fucking last
Yeah.
stretch, so
Yeah.
everything gets intense, including the lighting. But yeah, he's concerned with him. He's like, no, don't grind that rail, bro. It breaks there. It's like he was kind of like not so much becoming friends with them through the race, but becoming like kind of close to
Yes.
it.
He was expecting his skill.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And talking to people becoming friends, we get Reki and Shadow following them in Shadow's little pink hatchback.
Not flower car. It's been taped over. You can't possibly fucking tell. Brilliant disguise.
Just a work, Carol. It's only a job, all right?
Yeah. What's the line where he says, I'm only 24? When...
Oh, because the man club's like, come on, old man,
That's it.
step on it. He's like, dude, I'm 24. What the fuck?
Well, under the makeup, who can
Well,
tell?
yeah, I do like how that chase
Yeah.
light is completely like the shadow pretense is pretty much disappeared when they're in the
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
It's the guy we saw at the flower shop essentially.
Well, he's not going to wreck his work
No.
there. He's got to do flower deliveries in that thing. Come on.
But I just enjoyed the speed at which he's just no longer really a bad guy. It's just
Yeah.
an ally. Because
He was kind of a jerk, but we like him. We
Yes.
hang out with him. He's
and now
cool.
we've got somebody
There's a
to
real
really
villain.
hiss. It's
Yeah.
our masked vampire matador skateboard.
And like, I mean, it'd be one thing to just show up as that, and everyone goes like, "Wow, it's that cool guy." But then he's like, "Oh, mind if I show you how to do this? Mind if I touch you with my creepy hands?" And I was like, "Dude, back off, dude. You're coming on way too strong."
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's found someone new you play with. He's going, Mia, you fucking fucked it up. After
because,
I
like,
put all my hopes in you.
Because that speech is just after the lads are just like, "Yeah, you were abandoned by your friends, but that's not gonna happen every fucking time, dude. Like, we'll be your friends. Come on, skateboarding is about friendship. You know how these things go."
Yeah, that was kind of shit, as well as I think, he's like, only like 12 years old or something like that. And
Yeah.
he's only in like fun in the primary school or middle school. It's just like, yeah, he's won one trophy, got all the attention, and then his friend deserted him.
Yeah. He was skating for fun with his friends, but he turned out to be better than them at skating. But he didn't think of himself as better. But because he's been treated by that from them, he's acting like it, or acting like he thinks he should. He's like, "Oh, well, I'm superior. I'm going to act superior to fucking everyone." I was like, "No, dude, you can just have fun doing the thing you like. It's fine."
Heavy is the head that wears the crown of Japan's best national young under 15 trick skater.
I forgot the next episode's called Adam, the Matador of Love.
So
It's
Adam's,
even creepy fucking reorganizing his schedule. It's just like, if we leave right now for the D8 meeting, because this fucking goes all the way to the top, by the way, this
Yeah.
skateboarding conspiracy. Said, "Oh, I can't leave Sunday night. I have an appointment."
yeah, shows up like craps all over the kids, like going like, "Yeah, you've really fucking fallen back a step, kid."
Yes.
You know,
That's what happens when you have fun.
And our friendship is skateboarding guy is like, "Hey, take that fucking back."
Yeah.
He's like, "What if I don't? I'll skate you for it."
I see also he's a smoker. That's even.
Ooh.
I was about time we saw a villain smoking portrayed as a villain's behavior in anime rather than.
But it is
cool.
sexy smoking.
That's true, but
Yeah,
he's so excessively trying to be cool and sexy that it makes him a villain. Unlike our hunk of a restaurant owner and our hunk of a calligraphy expert.
What I love about those guys is they're like, "Ooh, we are deadly rivals," but it's like, "Hey man, do you want to make a bet about who'll win?" And then halfway through the race, it's like, "I want to bet on the other guy now." It's like, we didn't make a bet in the first place, and it's like, "Don't use my real fucking name here, Jesus, dude, what the hell?"
I am Cherry Blossom
Yeah.
here. The skateboarding
I
ninja.
assume they went to
Persona.
school together. I assume that's the reveal we'll get. I'm also hoping that somehow there's a flashback and somehow the broken office chair is tied into something related to these characters. Somebody else had a little bit of a storyline which resulted in that broken office chair being in the road in the first place.
Maybe fucking Adam's hard put upon assistant or aide there just had enough and threw it at the fucking window.
And still, the falling over animation is probably the best part. The best part of the animation.
They're good. It's painful, but somebody had fun drawing that because comedy is based on the pain of others. So
if you're going to want to if you're going to want to animate skateboarding, you really want to animate Bales really fucking a lot as well. So yeah, it makes sense.
Then we got to Dragon Quest episode 16, the Grand Sorcerer Matariv, in which Pop is a little punk, but in a different sort of way than he used to be. This time he's the cocky punk. He's like, oh, don't need to learn anything else. I use my destructive spells. And Matarif's like, no, you need to learn these other spells as well. Can't just rely on your destructive spells. Also, Matarif was part of the Heroes Party back in the day.
And he's creeping on Mom and saying, hey, is your mom single? Because I could go for that. And she's like, don't be a creeper. And he's like, shut up, I changed your diapers, girl. Now give me them titties. He's being a creepy Master Roshi, basically.
God.
He's being Roshi, and then we get a bunch of fucking Dragon Ball shit. Like a whole load of it. Yeah. Hey, I used instant transmission. It's like, wait, that Master Roshi couldn't do that.
It's okay. I'm a wizard. Don't worry about it. You got to picture it in your mind. Now, okay, I'm gonna dump you here in like the second to first starting village. You gotta teleport back to where we just were. You gotta do it by tomorrow. So if you want to join the party to do our daring raid on the fire and ice fires.
Well, they do have to upgrade. I assume he was thinking Pop has like a day or two before we head back to their thing. But your man said them an ultimatum. It's like, I'm going to have the princess's life force drained by sunset tomorrow night. So I was like, okay, that means he wants us to hit him during the day. So we hit him tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, though, in the lair of the villains, trouble is afoot. Hadlar is thinking, all right. Blazard, he's got the case. He's got the forbidden magic. He's got all that gear going on. But I still say we go in with all the boys and fuck him up because he's too dangerous.
Because they can figure out where the plan is. It's like he's got him locked down. He's got the princess there. They have to take out his towers. So when they split the fucking party, we fucking go at both sides and just take the whole thing out. Which is a fairly solid plan. And there's like one Flazar get pissed off. He's like, he's something he's dark magic I made to make an ice fireman. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
You'll forgive me. I'm like, he's dead. Come on. It's fine.
Then the leader of the Dragon Legion is like, okay, what do you want me to do? Oh, for you, you're going to have, like Miss Fern's having trouble taking over the Other Kingdom. You can probably go there and give him a hand with that. Is there a reason why you don't want me to go on this raid with all the boys to take out the young hero Die?
The young hero who looks pretty much just like me without a moustache and a weird eyepiece.
Who has the black hair like you, and he's a tough human, and he has the mark of the dragon on him. I don't fucking know. King of the Dragons, I don't think there's anything up to it. You're probably overthinking it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but just this once, I'll go conquer the kingdom, but I'm not being left out next time.
The intermonster conflict.
Hadlar's just going like almost like going
like he's not even saying no. There's no reason. He's just like yeah. It's very he's doing a very piss poor job of lying as an evil lord.
I think he's sensing as well, like the fabricus is kind of he's getting a little bit out of his hands somewhere. I gotta fucking lock this shit down because I don't want that kid to come fuck me up again. I'm still fucking hurting after that.
Yeah.
He's probably also like, oh, yeah, Crocodine's switch sides for however briefly before, and her uncle switched sides however briefly.
It's like, if he manages to switch sides before they fucking die, I'm in a lot of trouble, and I'm already 2 generals down.
So yeah, that's probably why
to go roll in there.
Definitely don't want the human one to go and meet the hero, regardless of any possible relationship they might have.
Yep.
Your old man's making bombs as well, isn't he?
The wizard says, "No, make cooler bombs."
I want a classic big black ball with a long fuse coming out of it. We haven't gotten into that. It's just going to blow up anyway. What's the point? Why you hold up with this? Make it a cooler bomb. Oh, we got no time. Pop teleported back. He's a heartwarming union because he actually was able to join his friends on the raid.
Well, he had to teleport back to like the last place they were, and he had to walk from there to here.
Yeah.
It was like, I could only get a clear picture of the place I've been because I was barely 5 minutes in this cave before you teleported me out of it.
Yeah, thanks. So they get to go on there. Okay, I might have to launch your boat. And once you get down on there, it's up to you. Okay, good luck and Godspeed. Mr. Matarov, sir, do you tell him how to pull the brakes and how to stop that boat? I suppose I did.
Oh, they have to do a 4-man crew because it's a 4-man rowing boat as well. So obviously they go with the party and the old man. The most obvious choice. But yeah, Dai's very impressed that he can use wind magic to slow them down from crashing against the cliffs of the island.
It wasn't a fatal crash, but it was a catastrophic crash and the boat's busted up. But they weren't turning back anyway. So they get to spill up then. They go take one of the ice spire, one fire spire. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, I think that's they're approaching the spires, aren't they? And Mist Varn's bringing in like empty armor type things.
Yeah, fucking the dark sorcerer dude, the mystic bishop. He's got. I love his his bunch of like evil wizards as well. Those dudes with the helmets and
with the masks and stuff.
The big square, this row of dudes behind him. It looks really cool. All them big chunky designs. They're nice.
Okay, next up we've got Detective Conan, episode 995, Kyogoku Makoto the Understudy, part 3, in which Conan squirms for a good chunk of the start of the episode as he tries to convince Sarah that I'm not that big kid, he's really big and I'm little, we can't possibly be the same person.
Yeah, it doesn't have a good explanation away from it. Obviously, she's not outright saying, it's like, yeah, I know people can get fucking shrunk into kids. It's fine. I've seen it happen, but I'm not going to tell you that. But I know I'm fairly fucking certain it's you. But initially, yeah, he's squirming. And then he's kind of getting annoyed because she's trying to prove that he's not really Conan, that kind of thing for the episode. He's like, she's not trying to solve this mystery that's in front of us. She's trying to solve this other mystery that I don't want her to solve about me.
She's like, well, okay then, I'll go and speak to the girls. And she goes up to them.
Ask them a few more leading questions, yeah.
Is there a kid who hangs around with Conan who's like really smarter and more mature than you'd think they normally would be for their age? And they're about to say, yes, there is one. And then Conan butts in and says it's the I can't remember which one. It's one of the detective boys, not I. They're clearly about to say I.
Yeah. But he's like, oh, it's him. He knows loads about lots of cool things. Obviously, he's sneezing while playing the Switch with the lads in the professor's lab.
And I was like, oh, shit, I hadn't realised those characters have not met yet. Sarah's been around for like, I think 200 odd episodes at this point.
They do the bit when they cut back to the kids at one point where your one goes into this long detailed thing of like, yes, I know exactly who made the drug, my own parents, and it was used on me to shrink me into a child. And I was like, oh God, if she talks to her, the whole fucking like that adult kid knows the whole fucking story. So that would spill the entire beans. But Conan is the detective walks up to Conan while trying to distract her from going like, no, it's this other random child who's actually a child who's the smart kid. The detective's like, hey, Conan, come help us solve this crime. And he's like, well, I'm just a kid. Come on, you little rapscallion. And like picks him up whole bodily and fucking like drags him off to solve the crime. So your one can ask more leading questions about I specifically.
Yes. And then it's time for Detective Queen Sonoko to solve the case.
Yeah, because Yuon's not helping me solve the crime. She's trying to solve my mysterious identity, which is bullshit. So I'll just use this crazy knockout juice in her so she can sit down unconscious beside this van and I can
use my voice.
Dicky bow my voice.
I forgot that he uses her when Kogoro's not around. And for those times when he just solves it straight up as a child. He does that sometimes as well. Yeah, and it was the makeup artist. I was right the first time, not the second time. And they did it.
I think that was my guess.
It was your guess, yeah. You were sticking with them.
Yeah.
I switched to the director. because the
Mm-mm.
the telltale thing was she was still looking up after the guy fell because she was trying to see where the bug went.
Yeah, she was going to grab it and pocket it because it was like evidence of her setting that up, basically. And I was just like, oh, I didn't actually catch that because I guess she has the kind of hair where you can't really tell as well
Yes.
which way she's looking, but it was clearly in the shot and everything. So yeah,
And the poison was done by putting on a cap on top of the straw.
like it was the God, the part of the straw that was poisoned was like a cutaway piece of straw that was
Yes.
wrapped around the other straw, which then she pulled off, so
And
there was
put in
no
a-
poison to
and
be
put in a
found.
caplet, which she then put in her allergy
Cold
medicine,
medicine.
which is why she hasn't taken her allergy
Yeah,
medicine throughout the 3 episodes.
Why she keeps sneezing?
Which is why she keeps sneezing.
Mm.
Perfect mystery. All the clues are there.
Yeah. It was very, and that, yeah, and she obviously can't risk it because it's all hidden among her things. But they're initially they were trying to break for the day because it's like, well, I mean, look, you have our information, you can contact us later. But at that stage, she could have disposed of the capsules, and there'd be no evidence to link her to the crime. Which is why he has to knock out a teenage girl to solve the crime. But at that, she's like, yeah, you fucking caught me, and runs into the van that she's unconscious, leaning against, and tries to drive it into the side of a building. And then we get some fucking cool action of driving that van around, and people trying to smash in the window, and fucking superhuman strength. I don't care if that's a fucking tiny minivan. Like, to lift up a back of a fucking van, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's basically the three of them proving what Sonoko was saying at the start of this story.
They could solve crimes by just running around.
Yeah, and then after the credits, we get to see that they've cast him as a detective in the show, and turns out he's just incredibly nervous when he has to deliver lines and stutters all the way through.
Action star, but not like a good actor.
And then it closes on Sonoko. Everyone's going, "Oh, this is terrible." Everyone's embarrassed for him, except for Sonoko, who's like, "He's so cute." And it closes. It shrinks on a little love heart on her face of finding her boyfriend adorable.
Despite it being named for him, he had very little to do with this besides lift up a van, which is pretty impressive.
And then we get the trailer for the filler next week, and I was like, I almost want to watch it because it seems like it will have a good bit of comedy because it's a lot of Kogoro going, "This falcon's just like me. Look at his intelligence eyes."
When knowing how stupid a bird actually is, yeah, that could be very funny.
But I shall wait until we're back at the plot because I was looking, I think like chapter 1000 or something is just called Rum, so I assume we're getting close to them actually revealing who Rum is. Oh yeah, because the reason I was looking up and found a fan theory was on the wiki was because Sarah mentions in her inner monologue that her mother went to England to see her father, and she came back a small child, and I was like,
yeah, it was to find her father who was presumed missing or something.
Yeah,
like that.
That's why I went to
dead?
look up.
I forgot.
Yes, he's presumed dead. And then that's when I got to the fan theory that some people have that the police inspector with the one eye may be the father. And I was
because she's got them detective genes.
Yeah, and I was looking at the character designs. I was like, yeah, I could just about see that being the father of the 3 children we know about. Yeah, so we'll see whether that's the case or whether it's the further, because somehow all 3 of the suspects of Rome are somehow connected to that case. Yeah, I assume we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the end of this, which I almost half expect to be the reveal that every single member of the Black Organization was a spy for a different legal department around the world. But which is an episode of Angie Tribeca. It's the one where he goes undercover for the lifeguards who are dealing drugs, and at the end of that, it's revealed every single member of the organization was an undercover agent for a different US agency.
You got to coordinate, lads.
Then we've got Goodbye Detective Conan. I shall now have time to watch Kimono Jihen next week. Healing Good, Pretty Cure, episode 41. Sukiyaki City's Crisis. Sukiyaki City's Crisis. The King's Shadow.
Yes, that's it. Got a great kind of montage of the girls mopping up the monsters around town. Like it just like they all do the fun finishing move, to do a mop themselves, and then like get out of here, like washed up monster. Get the fuck. What is this? Fuck, this is just camera monster. This is not imaginative at all. But just go like healing goodbye all at once, all going away. So yeah, that gets the king's attention. The new king, who takes the time from building his house, he's just there up on the rafters. But what? I'll take care of them, by God. And goes to fight him. Shindoini turns up after being missing from the underworld for some time, and Daruzen is there as well, as I guess, because he doesn't know what else to do with himself, and they're getting in the way. And it seems like they got the girls on the ropes. But then, Shisha, double cross. The king, the first king, is alive after all. What they blew up was just like the shadow of him, just to kind of the spirit of him, because he needed a body to inhabit. And it was all part of his plan to let Gaiwaru usurp the throne and evolve into a strong enough vessel he's now going to possess. And now we get the true King Byoga is up there. He's like a kind of a dragon man with Sephiroth hair. He's pretty intimidating. It's like, shit, we're boned. And there was still like a giga fucking Byoga going around, which is a pretty cool design. It's like the dude who it's been transmogrified from is a fella who was at the bath, I suppose. He was wearing like the young yukata bathrobe thing. But there's this weird kind of like long and lean kind of shape to it, and it's kind of walking forward like a Frankenstein. And then it grows extra arms. It looks pretty kind of scary actually with the face, So while they're busy kind of trying to put that one down, it's like, I guess all the all-fun villains all vanished away somewhere. That's really weird. Why did they retreat just then? I don't know. We'll call it a win and get back to our families. We've been missing for an entire day and didn't shut our families while there's monsters running around town. They didn't know we're pretty curious, so they're probably worried sick about us. So they each eventually go home and get fucking a clip around the ear in some cases, but then like a hug. It's like, come on, it's all right. Norga's parents especially were, because they thought, well, you are our child who has previously had a life-threatening illness. We thought you would have had some kind of relapse and maybe have died in the park somewhere. But we're glad you're safe. Oh. Yeah. And they're kind of wondering, and then, that seemed a little awfully simply resolved, but they're still out there, so we gotta keep up, be vigilant for it. Down in Germ Underworld, then, King Byoga is like, yes, now I have a corporeal body again, or like get the work, polluting the world and infecting the entire world. So I need all of your strength to join on to mine. Shindoin is obviously like, no, oh yes, I'd love to be part of you, King Byoga, and my number one best husband, though. It's like, okay, yeah. Daruzen, you're going to join me too. You will like lose all your sense of self and consciousness. And Daruzen was all about, no man, I want to be my own germ. I don't want to be joining you for no. You're going to join me. Woo! He discovered by a jogger the following day, as most bodies are, which is suspicious. All suspected joggers. It's no hours. It's like he's like, Cure Grace, help me. Let me go back into your body again. Maybe then I can heal the wounds that have inflicted upon me. And she's understanding, like, fucking no, dude. Fucking last time you and me, I was landing in the hospital in a coma. I'm not fucking letting you back in again. It's like, no, please let me in. And she just turns head and runs the other way. It's just, she's kind of going, you said that I only thought about myself, but now you're thinking about yourself. Ooh. Which I don't think is as strong a case as this dude.
Yeah, because he's thinking about himself in that moment. So
also, you're an anthropomorphic disease.
hey, diseases are people too.
I think he's trying to make this kind of case like, no, what about the right of the germ to exist? Is it right for us to use antibiotics? Maybe this is meant to infect us and kill us. I presume it might come down that way. Maybe this is one of those things where it's a question that maybe your children are bound to ask. Why do we always say we're killing germs? How killing was wrong? Well, you see, children, and need to explain about what it is. But Noriko is going to have a crisis of conscience about the right of the germ to exist next episode, which will culminate in a big fight because you see he goes off the rails and turns into a big monster man. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be. Well, that's actually no, never mind. In spite of what we were saying there last week, the actually PvP getting a film out is after the fact too. So good for them. It shouldn't be the only thing in the franchise left out for them. It'd be a perfectly understandable situation, but whatever. Sure. That had a little short as well, leading into the new series, which healing pretty cure and tropical root pre-cure karaoke dance parties or something shit like that.
So not like a tropical disease then. Okay.
Nah. I wish it comes out. But it's like still trying to have some kind of dramatic moments here, even right up towards the end. Again, that's not. I mean, I'll actually kind of finish, but I suppose it got to resolve this whole thing that another guy has going on and give maybe some ideas that had for it to play out with Darius one, because he's obviously been the one who would turn face, as we've noted long ago. Have him to turn face when it's to exist in a world that is actively hostile to his own existence. So how are they going to resolve it? Probably, purify him, send his soul on its way. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it.
Well, just get him to live on a petri dish.
Yeah, well, he could be the boy in the bubble.
Then finally, assuming somebody watched it, Kimono GN episode 3, Foxes.
Wait, am I the only one to watch it?
Yes.
I did not have time.
Oh,
sorry.
No, I don't remember anyone's name.
Well, was a woman on the other end of that phone call as sinister as she would let on.
Yeah. So
okay.
She's a nine-tailed fox. She's wearing a big fur coat that looks like it's made out of tails. I thought that was a good look. But she's basically with like pheromones hypnotized the entire police department. I think she's like the chief of police. Technically.
Yes, she
and
is.
your man saying is like, okay, we're detectives, so we have to work with the police sometimes. Logical. And it's like, but I'm like a Tanuki and she's like a fucking Kitsune. It's like, we don't really get on, but we have to work together sometimes. You know how it is. So the kids have been called in by the chief of police for a meeting, and there's much ado where they're like, hey, we want to see the chief of police, and the guy at the desk is like, fuck off, kid. It's like she's a busy woman kind of thing. But then her assistant, the young girl wearing the big ears on her fucking hoodie, who's clearly another fucking fox, it's just like, hey, the boss wants to see you, and Cabana is kind of like, yeah, I'll head on up, and is like, and the rest of them are like, yeah, about fucking time, we've been sitting here for hours. Like, we've only been here like 30 minutes, because he's always complaining. But they're like, no, she just wants to see Cabana. And so she's like, oh, hey, kid, how's it going? I'm hearing lots of cool stuff about you. I hear you got a cool necklace. Can I see it? And he's like, yeah, okay, here you go. And it's like, no, closer. And he's like, no, like, just let me hold it for a second. And he's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, like what, you know what this does, right? And he's like, yeah, it stops my hungers. It's like, that's right, because monster people whose name I've forgotten feed off of the energies of humans, but with this we don't need to do that. Enact the plan. And then the other kid chops his fucking head off. Some cops fucking roll in, take away the body, and they put his head in like a metal suitcase. So it's like, put his head in the suitcase so he can't grow back. And he's as shocked as the rest of us as this happened. And she's like, fantastic, I'm gonna fucking mass produce these fucking necklaces, and then we won't even need humans anymore. I won't even need to hypnotize them. And she says to the little girl, it's like, you're such a good girl. Now, if he came with his friends, right? So you need you to go downstairs and kill them as well and dispose of that head. All right, see you later. And so there's a big fight where she's like using her tail like a machine gun to shoot fireballs all around the police station. And the spider kid's like, dude, there's like people here. You can't just set fires everywhere. And she's like, doesn't matter. They're just fucking humans. They're all enthralled with her anyway. So they're not really people. They don't have their own opinions. They all just follow her orders, and they're all just going about their day as the fires are burning. But he manages to web a blockade for the fire, and he also manages to web the suitcase out. He's like, let's see what's in the suitcase. And it's Cabana. He's like, hey, you got me out. And he's like, oh, Jesus, fuck. That's horrible. So they kind of, your one faints on the sorry, the girly boy faints at the sight of a fucking severed talking head. And Cabana, eventually they come across the plan. It was like, okay, I need you to grab my head and throw it at her. And he's like, that's a really dumb idea. It's like, no, I got a plan, says Cabana. It's like, it's cool. And so he throws the head at her, takes a big chomp out of her.
Ooh.
Like just gets a real good grip on her shoulder, and then he apologizes later. It's like, yeah, sorry, I was trying to chew her arm off. It didn't fucking work though. But he does grow his body back in a kind of a gross thing, and your man's just like, dude, you're naked now. Here, wear my jacket as like a fucking like a little pants mini skirt thing, just so you hide your shame. And the Foxfire girl is kind of freaking out because she's like, I was supposed to be a good girl, but I lost the head and they got away, and she's freaking out, and she's later wandering through town like all bloodied and stuff, still searching for him at night. But in an earlier scene, our Tanuki guy goes like, here, Cabana, hold on to this for me, would you? And as your one's driving away in the car, is like, I can't wait to make a bunch of these necklaces. It's like, oh wait, this is the Tanuki statue. God damn it, he had me again. And he rings her up on the phone. Is like, hey, you tried to kill my boys, so you owe me a favor now. That's how we do, apparently.
Aaron from the chief of police.
Yeah, and Cabana reveals is like, oh yeah, we were just kind of faking him. He's like, blah, and he had the necklace in his throat, where still attached to his head the whole time, and everyone's just grossed out by that. The fox girl ends up at their place, but she's too hungry from wandering around town and having a bite taken out of her shoulder. So they feed her. The lads had pizza and pancakes to celebrate. They both feel sick, but Cabana is fine.
That's a lot of carbohydrates.
Yeah, the two other kids are sick, but the zombie kid's fine. But yeah, they meet up with her, so they get her some pizza, and then she's instantly like, now I have to take his head. And the man's holding her back. He's like, hey, stop it. Cut it out. All right, you want to be a good girl, right? And she's like, yeah, I want to be a good girl. All right, clean up after yourself. Say thank you for the food. And they're showing her how to do the recycling. And it's like, well, this is fucking easy. I guess she works for us now. And then your man explains how they get work. Generally, they have people call in. They have like a website. You can get their email. But most of the time, we have this magic sign, which was actually made by that chief of police, Kitsune, for us. It's like, and they're like, she our enemy or what? It's a magic sign that attracts people who have been touched by or interacted with in some regard monsters like us. So they automatically wander in. There's a dude who wanders in and he's like, hey, I thought this was a bar. What's going on? And it's like, smells like he's been near some monster people. So we're going to take a job next episode.
Have you been injured by yokai? Call this number now to receive free legal help.
Yeah, if you're far enough away that you can't be wandering through Tokyo and eventually find this random bar because you've been interacting with yokai, then yeah, you can contact them online. It's not so bad. Pretty mad episode, and if it keeps up crazy shit like this, I'm all in favor. That severed head thing felt like you said before, Brian, it's like very old-fashioned Kid Roll, just a body dismemberment fucking stuff. I was like, this is good. I like this.
I was fine with it. But zombies opens the case and says, how are you? Like, oh!
Yeah,
close it.
They're understandably freaked out. They're monsters as well. But it also turns out the fire was an illusion because all the cops are just asleep in the police station. But your man does have the spider kid does have blisters on his hand. It's like, okay, so it's an illusion that can burn you, kind of thing. So, bit of a weird one, but still good. More weird children joining the menagerie. I don't fucking know. I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, something is erupted at time.
Yeah, and I think there's another character we've not got to yet.
Yeah, there's definitely like at least one other dude who's like wearing like a sexy open shirt in the opening. So I'm wondering what that guy's about.
I see him in the clothes. He's like, I guess he's gonna be the hacker. Got a laptop and a hoodie. He's going to.
He just runs the IT. He just runs the website.
I said due to keep locked up in Vatican Miracle Examiners.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish that had been popular enough to warrant a second season.
I know, right?
How much money have you got? Just pool it right now.
Righty ho, that's it for this week. I still haven't finished watching Cute Executive Officer. I saw it mentioned in an article side by side with Puiku Molcar as fun shorts to watch. When they are. Right, so less things to watch next week. No Conan, so I'll hop back on Kimono Jihen for sure. What day next week, Niall?
Ooh, Tuesday, February the 2nd.
Okie dokie. Let me.
Best thing about February this year is that it's laid out perfectly in 4 even weeks, Monday to Sunday.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Pretty good, but you can get it.
Right, let me put that on the calendar. Oh, I've got a terribly busy day tomorrow. Got to take the car in for the MOT.
Yeah. Well, it's my birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to be the opposite of that. Sorry to balance the universe my way.
Take it in.
I need to go get your car.
Got to spend the rest of the day figuring where my wallet is because I've not had the wallet out since May.
Oh dear.
So I know it's somewhere in the flat. I've got a pretty good idea where it is, so hopefully it won't take too long. Right, we'll be back.
I can call it for you if you like, if give it a ring.
Right, we'll be back here next week with more of this. Goodbye.
Good night. Got the
Get that recording and there.